Welcome back to the second part of our International Sim Racing League debut. The previous race was 6 laps around Suzuka and we finished in 5th. So the reverse grid sees us starting in 11th as we go into the ominous T1. It's got a camber, it's got danger. Let's see if we can get through it in one piece. False starts will be penalised, so traction control on 1 as we have Sissy off to our right. A nice start. It did look like Sissy did jump at the start there, but it doesn't matter. We're all away nice and cleanly as we all head towards turn 1 and the madness that is going to ensue. Basically a cluster fudge, just cars going in the back of each other. I'm just sitting, chilling, and then I just decide to drive off myself. I didn't hit anyone, no one hit me. I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to join these guys, make them feel a little bit better. But anyway, we're in 10th, so we actually went up 1 position out of all that madness, and we settle in and go about trying to catch up the group in front of us. Dawson in front of us, so if we could try and get on the back of him, maybe he can pull us through the crowd. Learned a lot from the sprint race in terms of the car. I hadn't driven the Lexus for about 4 months before this race, and I had about 20 minutes practice beforehand. As you can see what strat we're on, we are on hard tyres, and the strat that I'm going to do is we're going to go for 10 laps on hards, then we're going to flip over to mediums and do 2 stints of 7 laps on the medium so we can properly attack the last 2 stints. So for this first 10 lap stint we do have to do a little bit of fuel saving, making sure that the laps remaining down in the bottom right hand of the screen match how many laps we have to do. Obviously we're on our first lap, so we want that laps remaining to say about 9.4 right now, and it's not, so a little bit of fuel saving needs to be done. As we come into Spoon for the first time, we're going to have 2 off the tracks, T&T there and also Wizard, both of them being a victim of Spoon's suck zones. So I am fortunate of 2 mistakes, and it sees us up in 8th place with Raiden behind us, one of the fastest of the drivers here. So we just need to be aware of where he is and when he's going to catch up. Just need to keep an eye on that delta on the left hand side of the screen so we can make way when he comes through. So coming into the chicane for the first time, we see that Sissy's had a little bit of a problem. He's going to slide over, he's just going to make us slide as well. It gets a little bit hairy, do not like it when the car goes light when coming out of that final corner. Very squeaky bum time as we're in the slipstream of Dawson, so we switch to that 3rd setting in the fuel map. Sissy goes past, just going to let him go, no need to fight it here. We are fuel saving, so I don't really want to battle too much with them. It's early in the race, so we're just going to sit behind. Ooh, nearly got a little bit awkward there. There's maybe a little bit of contact between Dawson and the Irishman, but we're just going to fill in here and follow them through. Nice train of cars. Are we going to look for the move? I do think we have the speed over Sissy, as it gets a little bit more awkward there as well, as we did finish in front of him in the previous race, so I do have that confidence. Just check in behind us, see where Raiden's coming. Is he going to come around the outside this time? Nope, he's going to have to wait for a different opportunity as we come through these quick corners. As we come out of Degna 2, Sissy gets a little bit of a wiggle on, but manages to catch it, so no drama there. We still sit in 8th as Raiden is breathing heavily down our necks as we go a little bit deep there. And you see his wheel just on the left-hand side of the screen there just poke into play as we just drop out of the slipstream of the car in front. Raiden all over our big old Lexus booty as we come into Spoon now. I don't think he's going to go for a move. He might just wait until the longer straight coming up, which is the clever thing to do, as Sissy makes a little bit of a move there. Are we going to try and go up the inside? It's going to get a little bit awkward, a little bit of a tap, but we both get through it nice and cleanly. Here we go, Raiden up the inside. See you later, pal. Have fun at the front of the field. We're just going to fill in behind when we can. Should move over onto the racing line. There we go as we go through 130R now, nice and easy. As we come into the final chicane now, nice and easy. Oh, thought I was going to punt Raiden there into oblivion, but we didn't. We got away with no touches whatsoever. So we're just going to fill in behind Raiden in that slipstream, just save some more fuel. Hopefully with his pace he can just pull us forward through the field, but you can see that he's just running away, so switch it down to 2 just to get that extra couple of miles an hour just before the end of the straight, as we do want to keep with them because the extra slipstream will help us with fuel saving in the long run. As we come around here, Sissy on the inside, Raiden on the outside, going 2 by 2 through these curves is very, very dangerous. As we now see Sissy on the inside, Raiden on the outside. Sissy actually just sweeps over, and there is a little bit of contact there. If we're going to point fingers, it will be Sissy just for sweeping out on the outside. There goes Raiden out of the top 10, but boy, will he make a comeback. Sissy now in front of us, and the gap behind us down to 3/10, so we do need to worry about some pressure from behind as we come through the Degnas into Degna 2. Will we get a nice run out here? Ooh, little bit shifty, little bit squiggly, but we're okay. Managed to catch it nicely as we come into the hairpin, down into first gear, nice and close with Sissy. Can we get up the inside of him here? Yes, we can, but we're in fuel map 2, so we're not going to have the grunt to go around the outside, so we're just going to slip into that slipstream as we still have that pressure from behind. Is he going to go for a move? No, he's just going to sit behind. Probably a smart idea going into the first part of Spoon. Oh, I thought we were going to absolutely collect Sissy there. He's gone a little bit wide, not going to throw out the inside. I want to see if we can just sit behind him, maybe bump draft him up the straight, because we do want to get onto the back of the Irishman in front of Sissy. And once again, we do have that pressure from behind, switching into maximum lean mode to save a bit of that fuel. Shifting down to 5th, getting a nice cut on there, bringing it around up to 6th again, coasting into the final chicane. Oh, Sissy just dips a toe on that left grass, and he nearly goes around. He manages to save it pretty well, but he does drop a couple of positions as we come around onto the start-finish straight in 7th place. What a good first couple of laps as we see the Mercedes driver just breeze past us now, and we're going to let him go because he is obviously on a different strat to us. Jumping towards the end of the lap, we do have Wizard in hot pursuit behind us as we come into 130R. We go in a little bit wide. Oh, we dipped one wheel on the green AstroTurf, and how did we manage to catch that? Making sure we get on the brakes at the right time as well. Usually when you go off on a corner like that, your entry speed to the next corner is different from what you are usually used to, so you do have to alter your braking when you come out of one of those. I don't know how we caught it, but we did, and we are still alive. As we come into the hairpin on lap 5, we give Wizard a little tap in the booty as everyone seems to have clogged up behind the ERT driver in the yellow Corvette a little bit further ahead. We are going to sit in here, try and do some fuel saving, as we did need to catch up to the group over the course of that half a lap. So coming through Spoon now, the second part, you can just see how awkward it is as they're all bumping each other as we just fast forward it just a little bit as we come over the start finish line onto the 6th lap now, very, very quickly, and we are here. So sitting behind Wizard as we were a little while ago, we have Raiden coming around the outside, and we're just going to let him go. We know he's faster than us. Coming into the Degnas then, he goes a little bit wide, a little bit slidey. We could have sent it up the inside there, but we're just going to let him keep the position and keep our own position as well. We don't really want to fight too much as Sissy actually gets disconnected. Thank you, Gran Turismo. As we come in now to the final chicane, the Austrian goes a little bit wide there. Mr. Mellon on the outside, just gonna take his place. Thank you very much, sir, as we slip into 9th place now on lap 6 of the race. So a quarter of the race done. We are in 9th position. We've gone up 2 positions from the start, and we're coming onto the back of a group of cars in front of us. This ERT driver in the yellow Corvette seems to be the cork in this small bottle in front of us. So is Raiden going to go around the outside? No, he's just going to stick in behind. You can tell how slow he is in comparison to the other boys, as even we are getting clogged up behind, so we just have to be patient. This is the difference between experienced drivers and impatient ones. You just need to wait for that moment. There is the moment. Raiden's going to go to the inside. Wizard is also going to go to the inside. Is he going to fight it? No, he's not. He's just going to slide back in as we go into the Degners. We're just going to be nice and easy again. Not going to send it up the inside once more into Degner 2. Not a place that we want to go and send it, as Racer Tay has made an oopsie in front of us and is going to fight us around the outside of the hairpin. Are we going to get the cutback? We might do. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle from Racer Tay there, and we will just settle in and save some fuel for the remainder of this lap. As we jump to the chicane at the end of lap 8, now we see the first bunch of drivers going into the pits to refuel and get new sets of tyres. They are going for a 2-stop, lap 8, then lap 16. So just a couple of us doing a different strat here as we come to the end of lap 9 now, as we see Dawson go into the pits, the race leader going into the pits doing a stop on lap 9. Then I think he went in on lap 16 as well. Racer Tay is going to join him in the pits, and we are going to stay out for one more lap, making us pit on lap 10, then lap 17, and then obviously bringing it home to 24. Jumping ahead a lap then onto lap 10, this is where we're going to pit in 0.7 laps of fuel remaining. Tyres in pretty good shape, to be honest. And we're going to exit. Where are we going to exit? We're going to exit in 7th place, just in front of this train of cars. Absolutely fantastic job by the pit crew. Obviously, the Jev pit crew having a say in the matter. Thank you to the channel members, of course. So we are going about making a nice, solid opening lap as we go into our second stint on the medium tyres then, so we can push a little bit harder. Coming into Spoon though, just going to go a little bit wide there, going to keep it under wraps though, but once again going a little bit deep here. 2 tyres on the green stuff. That's going to slow us down and give the Austrian a chance to blitz by us. Mr. Melon, see you later, pal. We're going to just dip in and sit in his slipstream for now. But as we come into 130L, we actually both have a little bit of a moment. Probably a little bit of poo came out of both of us there. But this is what it's going to be for a couple of laps. Just us trying to chase down the Austrian in front of us. So jumping ahead from lap 11 to lap 13 now. Heavy in the slipstream. We're going to just look up the inside. We weren't going to go. We were just maybe trying to force an error, as he may have seen us in his rearview mirror going for a move. But it looks like Racer Tay has made another mistake in front of us. Seems to be quite a tricky track for him. As we just settle in now, try to get a nice couple of smooth corners coming through these sweeping S's. We see the Austrian all over the back of Racer Tay now. I think Racer Tay is on the hards. I think he is only allowed 1 set of mediums, so he's going to obviously be on hards for 2 stints. As we come into the Degners right behind him now. Into Degner 2, are we going to get a better run out? You would think that we would have the better run. We can rev the absolute tits off this car, but we also have the superior tyres as well. So coming into the hairpin now, are we going to get a better launch out? We've just touched the grass on the inside, so probably going to damage our exit just that little bit. But we do have the slipstream, so we are going to look for a move up the inside here. We do have the speed up the inside. He's going to squeeze us just a little bit, but we are going to be there. He is there. He just forces us into an error there. Luckily, we don't spin it on the outside of Spoon, and we're going to settle back into the slipstream here. We did actually talk after the race, and he goes, I didn't have the pace, I just really didn't want to let you by. So hard defending from Racer Tay, but we're going to see if we can make a move as we're super fast through 130R. Are we going to send it fake to the left, go into the right? We have made the apex of the corner. It was a rash and really strong, aggressive move, but we have made it stick, and now we are on the start-finish straight. But we are not done fighting yet. He is in the slipstream, and he's going to make a move into T1. I didn't think he was going to fight it as much as this, just because I had the overall pace on him. If I didn't brake just there, I think he would have run us off the track a little bit. So a little bit of smart racing from me probably saved us both a little bit of an incident. But we're going to just tuck back in and follow him around through the S's. Not many overtaking opportunities around here, so we're just going to have to be patient as we do just give him a little bit of a bump there, because we do have those superior tyres, so we do have the better traction and speed overall around the track than him right now. But once again, we're trying to grow our racecraft skill, and we're just going to wait for that right opportunity to pounce and to pass. Coming into the Degners now, we are behind a struggling Irishman. As he does get half a penalty, he's going to pull over to the right just to serve that half a second penalty, and a little bit of confusion by Racer Tay lets us on the back. We're going to go for the wider, the later apex there, just to get a better run out, and we do have that superior traction. And a space does open up on the inside, just dipping 2 wheels onto the grass there. We're going to throw it up the inside, try to not repeat the exact same thing that happened the previous lap of us going wide, braking at the right mark. Nice cut on the inside of the first part of Spoon. Can we get a good exit from Spoon as well? Yes, we can on the power, and Racer Tay goes a little bit wide there, going to stop him from getting the best run out of the corner as possible. Still 3/10 behind us, but not close enough to go for any type of move, as we are fast coming through 130R there. As you see the time just climb up just to 4/10, and I think we have done the job. We have got away far enough that he cannot be a nuisance that he has been over the last couple of laps. Now look at the time gap it is created between us and the Austrian. The gap was about 3 seconds, but we got it down to 2 seconds at the end of lap 15, as most of the drivers are dipping in for their second pit stop, dipping in at the end of lap 15, so that's going to be quite the last stint for those guys. And the lap after, the leaders going in, so Raiden and Dawson, slip into the pits, and we are into first place briefly once more. Now it is time for our pit stop, end of lap 17, just like we wanted, but we're going to make a mistake and we're going to go off. This is going to lose us probably a second, maybe 2.5 seconds here, which could be crucial at the end of the race. Into the pit stop we go. The horn there covering my swearing behind the scenes as we come out just behind the Austrian, just behind the Brit in front of us as well, in front of Racer Tay though, so luckily he won't be able to hold us up again. But jumping ahead now to the end of lap 18, we are right behind the green and black Mercedes in front of us. We caught up pretty quickly, and I think he understands as he dips to the inside, hazards on, he's going to let me pass nice and easy, just getting that little bit of a slip there, and just flash my hazards, give him a little thank you as well, and we are on the warpath. Can we catch up with the Austrian driver in front of us for one hell of an end to this race? 3 seconds the gap, what can we do? Over the next 3 laps, it was a very, very consistent drive from us both. I did take off 2 seconds off him, and then he makes a mistake going wide out of 130R, and now we are heavily in the slipstream. A much better exit there from us, and we are going to be in that super suck as we go onto the start finish straight there. Are we going to go for the move right now? We're going to go to the outside. We do have that little bit of extra grip on our tyres because he did pit 2 laps before us, so he's doing very, very well to hold it. Up the inside he goes, and I like the move with Racer Tay. If we didn't hold back, then we would have been squeezed right out onto the AstroTurf on the outside of T1. So another bit of smart play from us sees us still alive, hashtag not dead, as we go about making the last 2 laps of this race very, very interesting. So we are in the slipstream and following the Austrian as close as possible. Once again, we are working on our racecraft, waiting for that moment. A little bit of a whoopsie there as we catch our left rear tyre on the grass going into Degner 1 and actually catch the car by switching down to 3rd gear to get that traction as we go through the corner. Very, very spooky moment, but glad we caught it. Now, have we got a better run out of the hairpin than the Austrian? No, we don't. We're both in the Lexus, remember, so we are both very evenly matched, although we do have the better set of tyres. fuel limits, we would probably be near the same if we had both judged it similarly. We could have sent it up there, but I didn't want things to get awkward, and luckily I did not send it because he did have a slide and we would have made contact, and things would have been a little bit teary towards the end of the race. So a nice smart decision once more to not go for the move. We do have the run around the outside. Are we going to get past him enough? Yes, we are. He's just going to dip back into the racing line. It's a little bit awkward. Nearly went wide there. As I look behind and make a little bit of a movement. It's a little bit of a cheeky move there, but I don't think that the space was there for him. Let me know what you think about that little cheeky move of my car there, just to say, no, you're not coming up the inside there. So coming on to the final lap, 24 out of 24. We have a little bit of a gap. I don't think he's going to go for the move here, so we can just attack T1 and T2 normally, and I don't think he's going to be close enough to go for any type of move through the curves ahead of us here. Once again, these curves aren't really designed for many overtakes unless someone makes a mistake. Once again, talking about our own racecraft, we have said, especially in the previous race, about our end game, our end race. Can we be consistent in the last couple of laps? We have been absolutely on the charge since lap 19 and haven't made any mistakes. Can we keep that going in the remainder of this final lap? And coming into Degner 2, we do hear a couple of tyre squirrels behind us. Looking back, he has made a mistake, and that is going to open up the gap. You look just ahead of us there, 4 seconds the gap between us and Raiden and Wizard. If we hadn't have made those mistakes earlier on in the race, could we have been up with them? Saying that, Raiden and Wizard both had offs, so same thing goes for them. If they were cleaner, then they would be even further ahead. But we can only focus on our race now, and we've only got a couple of corners to go. Getting through the second part of Spoon is always a little bit spooky. Nice and easy, and onto the back straight now. The gap to the Austrian behind, around 7/10, so he is slightly in the suck zone, but I don't think it's going to be enough into the 6/10, but we are quite fast around this corner here. Nice little tap of the brakes just to be sure. And can we get through the chicane without making a mistake? Down to first gear, nice and easy. A little bit of a slide on to the acceleration now. Nice check. Third gear, fourth gear, little check behind us, a little flash of the hazards as well to say great race. And that is going to be a 4th place for us. 7 places gained. What a goddamn race. So a 5th position in the sprint race and a 4th position in the feature race. I think I did Speedy Tyres well as his substitute in the race. And thank you for the International Sim Racing League for having me. It was a lovely experience. Nothing but positive vibes from the races that I had and the players that I had battles with. That is going to wrap it up here. I really hope you enjoyed these 2 races. I really want to do more of this stuff. So thank you for watching, liking and subscribing. Thank you to the members once again, and we'll see you in the next one.